What's up? So the long-awaited DPO for Roblox is now behind us. In its first half week of trading, the stock closed around the $70 mark with a valuation of $40 billion. I know it's still very early in the life of the Roblox stock, but this early price stability is giving me a bit of confidence. It looks like people are starting to realize that this is more than just a children's game and more of a lucrative investing opportunity. So in this video, what I'll be covering is some recent news about Roblox, the valuation concerns, growth opportunities that Roblox must succeed with, and my current strategy for buying Roblox stock. So let's go. Great to see you again. If you haven't met me before, my name is Rblx. The goal with my channel is to provide you with high quality insights to help you make more informed investing decisions. If you're interested in stocks and just investing in general, I urge you to hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with all my videos. And I like to remind everyone that you cannot get emotional when you're investing. So stocks do go up and they do go down. So you need to be prepared for that. If you can't handle that, you may not do too well with your investing. And lastly, this is not financial advice. Make sure you're doing your full due diligence before making any sort of investment. But yeah, let's jump into Roblox. So one of the big highlights in the past week was the fact that Cathie Wood of ARK Invest purchased $36 million worth of shares. It came out to being about 519,000 shares. This news actually helped Roblox's price surge to about $77 before retreating back to the $70 range. This stake really only makes up 0.51% of ARK's next generation internet ETF, but we all know by now when you're investing, don't go all in all at once, ease your way into a position. So this is what ARK is doing here. In the past several weeks, Cathie Wood has been taking a lot of heat. Her ARK funds actually went down a lot when the market was going down, and CNBC was calling her out saying like, oh, Cathie Wood is done, she doesn't know what she's doing. And guess what? The market bounced back and so did her funds. So this is just a reminder, when you're investing, if you want to be like Cathie Wood, you need to think long term. She ignores all the short term noise. When a stock she likes goes down, she buys more. So if you believe in a company, you've done your research and your due diligence, then usually you're supposed to buy when they go down. So Roblox is a very unique company. Not too many other platforms empower 10-year-old kids to make some extra cash developing items for online experiences while helping them gain skills that are applicable to a growing gaming industry. I came across this awesome story of Ben and Matt Horton. The headline says, Roblox, we paid off our parents' mortgage making video games. It was quite bizarre at first because I was doing a paper round and they were blown away. They said there's no way a paper route could make this much. His brother Matt adds, it was a significant amount of money. They thought we were doing some shady stuff online. As it turned out, the brothers had produced their first big hit, a game called Boat Ride, launched on the online gaming platform Roblox, and they were just 13. 7 years later, Ben and Matt work full-time on gaming, with Ben specializing on the software side and Matt doing the video production. The games have been played more than 100 million times, and each of them earns £100,000 per year. That's awesome. Roblox is empowering young people to build a life around their passion. Even if they don't turn this into a full-time career, they're developing some skills from a very young age. Young people, they can learn things way quicker than adults. This is something that could really work to Roblox's advantage in the long term. Young people are the future here. They hold the key to keeping all of Roblox's experiences and games fresh. So when Roblox gets paid from users buying Robux, where does the money go? So we have this chart from the Roblox developer website. So it says, when you start developing on the Roblox platform, you pay no fees to use our tools and platform services. You earn revenue when you add monetization into your game, and that is earned via our virtual currency Robux. So first off, we have App Store and payment processing. On Roblox, this percentage accounts for all transactions of real currency into Robux, the virtual currency of Roblox. This goes directly to Apple, Google, Microsoft, or for processing payments on PC. So Apple and Google and Microsoft, they're making tons of money per transaction. That's crazy, 25% of the costs. Next up is platform costs. So this percentage goes towards Roblox maintaining the servers that all Roblox games are played on. It also goes towards platform-wide customer service, user and game moderation, and user acquisition. So unlike other companies, Roblox controls their own cloud storage and cloud service. So they don't go to like Amazon Web Services or any other third party like that. They do it all themselves in-house. Next up, we have the share that Roblox keeps. So this percentage goes to Roblox for ongoing research and development, investments in the Roblox platform, and services such as developer programs. And last up, we have the developer share. So this percentage is the game owner's share after all the other costs. Developers cash out through our DevX program. So I was reading on Reddit that this developer share actually went up, although I couldn't find anything to prove it. So if anyone has that information, let me know down below. So when you compare this to a platform like YouTube, the creator on YouTube gets 55% of the ad revenue, and YouTube keeps 45%. Of course, they don't take out the taxes before they pay you, so you have to take that into account as well. And YouTube has actually presented more revenue opportunities for its creators over time. I think that over time, Roblox will offer more opportunities for the developers to make extra money. They got to keep them engaged on the platform, else they might go somewhere else, right? One thing that they actually have started recently was rewarding developers for promoting their premium memberships inside of their games and experiences. Premium memberships are subscription based, which is one of the best revenue models as a business. Recurring revenue is predictable and is likely to grow over time as long as more people are signing up than canceling. Next up, let's talk valuation. So currently they're valued at $40 billion. Some are saying this is way too high, and some are saying, it makes sense. And we have this article here. Roblox CEO says growth streak isn't over. While a surge in users and revenue on par with 2020 is unlikely in 2021, video game company still plans on expanding its fandom. While Roblox CEO David Baszucki projects slower growth this year compared with earlier in the health crisis, the company is laying the foundation to attract users outside of its largely Gen Z base and reach players in other countries. So yes, 2020 may be hard to top here in 2021, but I do think that is not reflective in the long-term potential of this company. Doug Clinton of Loop Ventures says that net bookings could be increased by 20 to 30% over the next 2 years. In 2020, that number was $1.9 billion, so they're thinking here $2.28 billion to $2.47 billion per year over the next couple of years. The listing to the stock market is going to help Roblox grow even more, but you can't be thinking here like this is going to be a Tesla of 2020. It needs a little more time than that, in my opinion. So what did I do? I bought around the $69 mark on day one. So if things go up from here and they go up fast, I might trim some profits. If things drop, I'm not necessarily going to buy in right away. I might wait for 1 or 2 earnings reports to see what happens next. Next up, I want to discuss the CEO's holdings. So this article from Forbes is titled "Too Much Control in CEO's Hands." David Baszucki, who earned an electrical engineering degree at Stanford, controls 70% of Roblox voting rights according to the journal. That could be great as long as he could manage Roblox so that it exceeds Wall Street's revenue and earnings growth forecasts while raising guidance each quarter. If he can't do that, his voting control means that he will stick around as CEO as long as he wants. With Roblox's growth slowing down, it might not be wise to hold on long enough to find out. So what this article is saying is, hey, this company is not going to grow as fast as it did in 2020. And the CEO, he has so much control. He gets to make all the decisions. So you might be risking yourself by buying at a high valuation. And if you're thinking short term, it might be a little risky short term. You need to remember here that this guy has built this company over decades. At this point, I trust and I believe in his long-term plan. But Wall Street can be harsh. If earnings do not look stellar, they're going to bring the price of this stock down. So you need to be aware of that. Do not go all in right now. That's my opinion. In the first year of an IPO, things go like this. It happens. It doesn't just go straight up. Things will drop the stock price, most likely. So you need to be prepared for that. Have cash ready if you believe in this company. So this is David Baszucki's avatar. They call him Builderman. All the players on Roblox know him as Builderman. Let's look at another Builderman, the guy who made Facebook. So Mark Zuckerberg is pretty much untouchable as well. After the recent announcement of Jeff Bezos stepping down from Amazon, Mark remains one of the last mega tech company CEO/founders, until of course David Baszucki builds the Roblox business even bigger than it is today. So next up, I want to do a little comparison of the revenues between another gaming company and Roblox. So I decided to pick Activision. I could have picked way more companies, but today, just to keep it simple, I just picked one. So Activision, their share price was last at $93.04. And their market cap, $72 billion. So of course that's higher than Roblox, but let's look at their sales numbers. So going back to 2018, they took in about $7.5 billion in total revenue. And then in 2019, they actually dropped 13% to $6.49 billion. But then 2020 happened and they saw some growth again. Their revenues went up 24% to $8.086 billion. So kind of mixed growth, but of course 2020 brought some opportunities. A lot of people wanted to get into gaming and play gaming because they had nothing else to do. They were at home anyway, so they benefited from this. And then we have Roblox's revenue for the same years. We have 2018, they brought in $324 million. Then in 2019, it actually went up 56% to $508 million. So in that year alone, they went up and Activision went down. Then in 2020, it went up even more. And of course, we know why. That was an 81% increase year over year. So of course, we do not expect the same growth in 2021. That will slow down. We still see growth coming, but just not that much. And I know I'm just focusing on one gaming company. I could focus on more, but I'm just going to start with one. Activision. The games that they have produced from 2020 till now, there's only 6 on this list. What's important to remember here is that Roblox cannot be compared directly to a gaming company. They are kind of an infrastructure to create games. They don't make the games themselves. Roblox actually has an endless supply of games and experiences for its users to enjoy. I love charts, and I really love this chart in particular. So games live on well past when they are born. For games like Call of Duty, new ones come out and less people play the old ones. So as you can see here in 2020, games are still being played from a couple years prior. So as time goes by, people still play the old games, and that's awesome. And then I found this handy chart from one of my Discord members, Lady Pink. She actually posted her due diligence on Roblox on Reddit, and she shared it with us on the server. Her work is very high quality, and she says she's going to be doing another due diligence post on Reddit. So if you want to stay up to date with what's going on the Discord server, I urge you to join and go to the channel called Roblox. But what you need to know from this chart is you cannot just look at revenue, you need to look at bookings. So Roblox is a little different. They don't report just revenues. They have something called net bookings. And if a user buys a bunch of Robux, their currency on the platform, and doesn't buy anything yet, it doesn't get counted as revenue. So the user has to spend some of their Robux on things like avatar items in the game for it to turn into revenue. So they have this money kind of just sitting there. So when you're looking at the valuation of a company, a lot of people look at the price to earnings ratio. But when a company is not profitable yet, you look at the price to sales ratio. So as you can see on the Yahoo Finance website, their price to sales ratio is about 44. So how is that calculated? Let's calculate it for you so you can see how it's done. So the way you calculate the price to sales ratio is you divide the market cap of a company and divide it by the revenues of the last 12 months. So if you look here, the market cap is 40.685 billion. So I'll type that in, 685 billion. Then you divide that by the most recent sales. So that is $924 million. So 924, 123, boom. That gives you 44.03 as their price to sales ratio. And look at this. If we compare that, we can go to the statistics on Yahoo Finance. Let's let it load. Perfect. And there it is, 44. So we know this is accurate. And one thing to keep in mind when you're on Yahoo Finance, you'll see this TTM here. And as you can see, $924 million there, that's the number I use in the calculation, but that's the trailing 12 months. So of course, this one, it matches up. But if we're in quarter 1 or quarter 2 or quarter 3, you can't use a fiscal year. You just use the last 12 months, if that makes sense. So after quarter 1 or quarter 2, this TTM number will be different than this one. And this is where there may be a little bit of short-term risk for the Roblox stock, because they could be judged by people that don't understand the company by this price to sales ratio, when maybe they should be looking at the price to bookings ratio. The bookings is very important because it's money that Roblox is going to get. They just can't report as revenues officially until they're spent in the game. So let's try the price to bookings ratio, which is the exact same calculation, except instead of revenues, it's bookings. So of course we got the market cap in there and we divide it by 1.882 billion. And that gives us 21. So now we realize the company is not as overvalued as we initially thought. But like I said, not everyone will get this at first. Maybe after a year, they're going to start understanding this, but we don't know for sure how their earnings are going to be received. And if you're looking at this chart here and you say, hey, wait, what's price to book? Don't worry, it's not price to bookings, it's price to book value, which is a completely different ratio. So in my videos, I like to compare these types of ratios from other companies just to give you a better idea. So Apple, their PS ratio is 6.91. So that's pretty low compared to the price to bookings ratio that we calculated for Roblox. Then you have Netflix, which is another big mega tech company. Perhaps Roblox can turn into a Netflix of gaming. We'll see. Price to sales ratio is 9.18. Then we got Peloton. I like to bring this one up because people say Peloton is way overvalued. They're not worth buying. Once the pandemic ends, no one's going to have Pelotons. I don't believe that. I think Peloton is going to be a great company. It's going to grow in the next 5 to 10 years, but that's just me. But their PS ratio is 11.12. And then we have Take-Two. Let's move to a gaming company, right? Take-Two, they make GTA, they make the 2K sports games. They're sitting at a PS ratio of 5.95, so it's pretty low. And then we'll go to Airbnb, which just IPO'd in December. And the thing about IPOs and DPOs, it's hard to determine a valuation in the first year of trading of a stock. So if you look at Airbnb, their PS ratio is 36.56, so it's a little higher. And this could be similar for Roblox. It could be higher for now, but obviously with Airbnb, it just went up another 4.48%, pretty much at record highs, over $200. So the market is really seeing Airbnb as a company that's still worth buying, even at these valuations, because Airbnb is just such a big name though. Everyone says Airbnb. And this is kind of similar to Roblox. There's not another company that's similar to Roblox, at least right now. Maybe other companies are going to try to make metaverses, but for now, Roblox is kind of on its own. So maybe the valuation does make sense. So with all my videos, I like to show both sides. It could be overvalued, it could be undervalued. We don't really know yet. We need to kind of see what happens in like the first year of trading for Roblox. So with all this concern and talk about valuation, there has been some things that have been identified that Roblox must succeed in to justify the valuation. And Roblox has shared their 4 main strategic areas for growth. The first is international, the second is age, the third is gaming being the first vertical, but then expanding to other verticals like experiences, and fourth, expansion of their virtual economy. Maybe they're going to start a stock market in there. So in their Investor Day video, Roblox explains that there's going to be 2 network events that'll drive their growth. The first is on the left here, content. So as content increases, the quantity and quality, that means developers and creators are going to be creating more. That'll actually increase players. And when players increase, they're going to tell their friends to play as well. And that social network wheel will spin as well, and it'll bring people in, more of their friends coming in, and it spreads from there. So these 2 wheels spinning at the exact same time will drive some of their growth going forward. For international, this is a huge opportunity for them, especially in China. Right now, most of their revenues comes from the United States, so they have a huge opportunity in tons of other countries. They said that they will have location-specific discovery, sort of like on the App Store. You have the Canadian App Store, the American App Store, the Dutch App Store. It all changes. So no matter where you are, there's different trends, and you'll find different games based on your geography. Right now, they translate their games and experiences into 11 different languages automatically. So a developer creates a game for one country, it could go to other countries. Although during my live stream, someone commented and said, hey, this feature isn't the best right now. So I expect them to improve this one over time. Next up is age. And we have an article here from The Verge. They said over half of US kids are playing Roblox. That's insane. Half of all kids. That's crazy. But they can't solely just focus on kids, and they can't rely on that for growth. Now that they're a publicly traded company, they need to show growth. So they said a big opportunity for them will be expanding to adults. And they announced that they are going to be opening a server for the 13 plus demographic. And this is good. Netflix does this already with the children's mode. And if you're an adult that wants to play Roblox, you don't want to play with 6-7-year-olds. And if you're a parent of a young kid, do you want your kid playing with adults or just a bunch of kids? Next up will be expanding beyond the gaming vertical, and they talk about experiences a lot. So they said you can go with your friends and experience ancient Rome together and see how it actually looked like. It's different and more exciting than watching a video or reading a history book. You can live it and experience it. There's other things like concerts, and I suspect there might be big brands that enter the space, like Disney creating a Disneyland theme park in the virtual world. Right now, all the big tech companies are fighting for your attention. We got Netflix, we got Spotify, we got Apple, we got all the big companies, YouTube, and Roblox needs to get people's attention. And I'm not a gamer, so I'm not going to be playing Roblox too often, but if Roblox start offering more and more experiences that are pretty cool, like go experience what the 1950s were like, stuff like that, I'd be kind of intrigued to check it out. And lastly, they need to expand their vibrant economy and continue to monetize engagement. Right now, users can buy clothing, gear, and accessories, and they can come across very rare items, all created by developers, and the successful developers get paid out. And so far, 1.25 million developers have earned money from Roblox. Some of these small developers have actually opened studios. So one person started their little studio, and now they have like 12 or 20 staff members under them creating all these products for Roblox. And they don't just sell to users and players of Roblox, there's also a developer marketplace. So some of the developers create codes that are actually useful for other games, and they can sell to each other in that way. And I've mentioned this earlier, there's gonna be more and more engagement-based payouts. So the more time that premium subscribers spend on one specific game actually pays the developers more. So this is a very strong incentive for developers to continue building content. And Roblox says their economy is thriving. In the last year, they brought in $1.9 billion in net bookings, as I mentioned earlier. So they need to increase this over time to justify the valuation and justify growing the valuation. So to end this off, do you think that the company is undervalued, fairly valued or overvalued. I'm kind of sitting in the middle of fairly valued and overvalued. What you need to be aware of right now is the fact that the overall stock market is kind of choppy. So any slight panic will dip the entire market. And a company that's being seen as overvalued, especially in the headlines, will drop a lot. So this company may drop just because the entire market may drop at some point in the next months. So I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but I think there might be more buying opportunities ahead for a lower price. But with all that, I still bought into this company in case this is the lowest it'll ever be. But if you'd like me to cover more videos on Roblox, especially when new news comes out, let me know. I'll keep making more and more Roblox videos if that's what you want. Also, if you've gotten anything out of this video, I appreciate you giving me a like. One of my last Roblox videos almost got to 500, so I'm hoping maybe this one will get to 500 likes. So if you can help me out, press that button down below. If you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all my videos. I'm approaching 3,000 subscribers. My current goal is to reach 3,000 in my first year of YouTube, and I believe my first video came on April 5th, so I have another couple weeks to hit that number. So if you want to share this with someone else you think would be interested in this content, feel free to share it with them. But that is all for me today. Good luck with your investments. I'll talk to you soon.